Hi, my name is Rosalyn Schanzer, and today I'm going to read to you from my new book, Witches, the absolutely true tale of disaster in Salem. This was during a time in the 1600s in Salem, Massachusetts, and in all of New England when everybody believed absolutely in the existence of witches. So I'm going to put on my glasses here and read you a little bit about witches and a couple other passages too. Witches. For centuries, these horrid creatures have invaded the nightmares of superstitious souls around the world. Who is to blame for causing a terrible unexplained pain or an untimely death? What if your farm animals fell into a fit and began to dance and roar? Or your milk jug shattered before your eyes for no reason? Or your child was born deformed? A wicked witch must have been casting spells to harm the innocent or to settle a score. In European lore, witches consorted with spirits shaped like animals, vicious cats perhaps, or wild black hogs or birds. Far more sinister was the idea that witches were the enemies of God and the agents of Satan himself. But the most frightening thing of all was this. Anyone could be a witch. Your own mother or father, your best friend, your tiny baby brother, or even your dog. And you might never know who was in league with the devil until it was too late. Now I'm going to take you to the household of the Reverend Samuel Parris in the little farming town of Salem Village, Massachusetts. Reverend Parris is really upset, and he's most upset about his daughter Betty, who's 9 years old, and his orphaned 11-year-old niece, whose name is Abigail Williams. Normally, the Parris household would have been a hive of activity filled with 8 hard-working people. Besides Parris, who was forever sitting beneath his map of the world to write yet another terrifying sermon, there was his good-hearted but somewhat frail wife Elizabeth. There were the couple's 3 children, Thomas, age 10, Betty, and little Susanna, 4 years old, and there was Parris's niece, Abigail. In addition, Parris owned 2 slaves, Tituba, an Arawak Indian woman who was kidnapped by a slave runner in South America when she was a young child, and her husband, John Indian, who had been married to Tituba for the past 3 years. Tituba had helped raise the Parris children ever since they were babies. If all had been well during this unusually harsh winter, Betty and Abigail would have spent most of their time working together indoors. There was not much playtime in Salem Village. Children were expected to help out the same as adults from the time they were about 4 or 5 years old. So when there were chores to do, and there were always chores to do, except on Sundays when everyone was in church, the 2 girls might have knit some warm socks, boiled laundry in their enormous fireplace, swept ashes off the floor, ladled out porridge for breakfast, or helped make a wild venison pie and some sweet pudding for lunch in their big iron cooking pot. But that's not what happened one freezing day in January 1692. Not at all. For as winter's sleet and snow heaped higher and higher outside their door, Betty and Abigail began to twitch and choke and contort their bodies into strange abnormal shapes, crouch beneath the furniture, and speak in words that made no sense.